For your Sunday, November 3, 2019, the Gambling God is here. We will review yesterday quickly. Last night was pretty good with the hockey. We hit NBA quickly. We will talk about that. We hit on Detroit at home over the Nets. That was a good one. As predicted, Detroit did beat them despite Kyrie Irving's triple-double. We hit Denver at Orlando. Denver coming off that loss at New Orleans, which was clearly fixed. We figured they would bounce back and beat Orlando, which they did. Milwaukee at home against Toronto. I don't remember. I didn't bet this game. I believe Toronto covered and Milwaukee won, which is what I expected. So we hit that one as well. I'm fairly confident. It was only a few seconds left. They were only down by a few points. Minnesota at Washington, we missed. I had Washington to win. Minnesota beat them pretty good. So we did miss on that one. Phoenix at Memphis, we hit. We had Phoenix in that one. Charlotte, Golden State, I held off. I didn't really have a feeling on that game. There was not too much that I was interested in on that one. Too many injuries and a couple teams that are just not doing too well. Not interested in that. Philly at Portland, another fixed game. Portland, that lead changed hands 2 or 3 times in the last few seconds. Philadelphia hitting a three-pointer as time expired to win the game following a three-pointer by Portland that gave them a 2-point lead with 2 seconds left. Ben Simmons had hit a couple of free throws to give Philly the lead. Then Portland hit a three-pointer to give Portland the lead. Then Philly hit a three-pointer to win the game. So a lot of back and forth in the last few seconds of the game. All fixed. Just like the Laker game with Danny Green hitting the three-pointer at the buzzer to send it to overtime. If you had Dallas in that game, like I did, you lost because there are magnets in the basketballs. It's all rigged. There is no athletic ability here. This is all Cirque du Soleil, WWE entertainment for you. You just got to be on the right side of it. You can gamble on it. Just don't think this is really legitimate athletic competition. It is all WWE script nonsense. If you notice, SmackDown is also WWE SmackDown. They're cross-promoting between WWE and the NFL. You should wake the fuck up and realize that they are all in the same boat. If you think that for some reason the professional athletes are somehow any different than the professional wrestlers, you're an asshole. Anyway, NBA, that was last night. NHL, Ottawa at Boston. Boston won that game. Not much to say there. That was expected. We hit on the Islanders at Buffalo. I had a feeling about that one. They shut them out 1-0. Detroit at Florida. Florida beat them. I didn't take action. No value there, but Florida did win. Toronto at Philly. More fixing. We had Philly. They were down 1-0. Took the lead 2-1. It was tied 2-2 and then 3-3. Of course, it went to overtime. Like every game I bet, it went to the overtime period. And at that point, nobody scored. Then it went to a shootout. It went 11 rounds in the shootout because they like to torture you. In the first 6 or 7 rounds, nobody scored. Philly scored, I believe, in the 8th round. All their goalie had to do, and it was not Corey Hart. It was this other guy, Elliott. All he had to do was make a save. Of course, he didn't. So the shootout went on. It went to the 11th round where Toronto scored and then ended the shootout. All fixed, an 11-round shootout. Total bullshit. New Jersey at Carolina. I think New Jersey won this game. I didn't bet it, so I wasn't really paying attention. I think Jersey went in and upset Carolina, and it does happen where these big favorites do go down. But again, I didn't touch it. I don't like those big spreads. I didn't see any value in the Devils. Calgary at Columbus. Columbus, their second game in a row at home where they really didn't do too well, didn't score. I think they got shut out here, 3-0. Calgary playing well. They won that last game on the overtime goal by Matthew Tkachuk between the legs with 1 second left in overtime, and now they go into Columbus and they shut them out. An interesting result there. I lost that one. Montreal at Dallas. I didn't take action, but I liked Dallas to win, and they did. I believe they won 4-1. I like Dallas's team. They have a good goalie. Jamie Benn is a very good hockey player, and they're well coached. So I do like Dallas, and they did take it there. St. Louis at Minnesota. We had St. Louis to win on the road, and they did, of course, in overtime because every game goes to overtime, and they did win it 4-3. Minnesota's a very good team, but I had a feeling that St. Louis would take it. Colorado at Arizona. I didn't take action. I liked Colorado to win. I missed on this one. Arizona beat them. But again, I didn't take action. I didn't love it. It wasn't a game I was in love with. The game I did like was Winnipeg. They were down 3-1. They went up 1-0, and then they were down 3-1. They got to within 3-2, tied it 3-3. Took it to overtime because every game goes to overtime, and they beat them in overtime 4-3 on a goal. Toward the end of the period, it was pretty goal. So Winnipeg rallied. They were a huge underdog, tremendous value there. Fleury didn't play in goal for Vegas, which I'm sure was a factor. 4-3 final there. We had Winnipeg. I hope you did too. Vancouver at San Jose. This will continue our parade against San Jose. The goalie is blind. Jones, he stinks. He should be on the street selling burritos, and he should not be in a professional hockey uniform at all for any reason. For my friend Anthony DiGennaro, you know I'm right. This game was 4-0, and maybe I think it was 4-1 and then 5-1, maybe something like that. San Jose was never in this game. They're not going to be competitive this year with this guy in net. My opinion, they should get a sumo wrestler, put him in the net, let him sit down. I think he'll do a better job. Doesn't have to move a lot. Just kind of got to, maybe shake it a little bit. The flubber will reject the pucks. I don't know why more teams don't try this. It's worth a try. Chicago at LA. This was 2-0 LA. Then Chicago tied it 2-2. I believe it ended 3-2 LA. I didn't take action. Two teams I really don't love. Not really good teams. Wasn't interested. The late game for those of you who are degenerates like myself, I told you to take Fresno State at Hawaii. They won 41-38. I had them in a parlay with a couple of earlier matches, which paid off nicely. So for those of you who like to bet late and don't like to sleep and enjoy tracking sports in other states and time zones like I do because I have fucking problems, Fresno State took it there. Nate Diaz got his asshole kicked in. The over-under was 4.5 rounds. Of course, they stopped the match at the beginning of the fourth round, so the under came out. I had the over, of course. When I have the over, the under comes out. When I have the under, the over comes out. That's just the way that it goes. The Diaz lost. Canelo Alvarez won. He had a knockout over this guy Kovalev. He knocked out the Russian in the 11th round just to fuck everybody over who had over 11.5 rounds. I didn't take action on the over-under. I had Canelo parlayed with this tennis player, female tennis player. Her last name is Barty. The Barty Party. We hit on that one at 6:30 a.m. in China. Beat Svitolina. Yes, we bet tennis in the middle of the night. It's a good way to make money while you sleep. Warren Buffett said if you don't make money while you sleep, you'll be working for the rest of your life. My version of doing that is betting on women's tennis and Australian soccer. Get on my level. All right, Gambling God, 12:30 here. It is now the 3rd of November. We will now get into the NFL for, I believe this is now week number 9 of your NFL action. The game that's going on right now is Houston and Jacksonville. I have Houston and the under on that one. Sorry I didn't do a video on that. I can't get to them all. You're on your own in some regard. The games that are upcoming, for those of you who are interested, Washington Redskins at the Buffalo Bills. Not much to say here. Washington is starting Dwayne Haskins. Loved him at Ohio State. Don't necessarily know that he's ready to cover a 10.5 point spread in Buffalo. I like Buffalo. The over-under is 36.5 on this. I don't know. It seems a little bit low. I like Buffalo in the over, but I'm not going to bet this game. There's too much shit going on. Rookie quarterback, Buffalo's home. It looks too easy. It's a big spread. There's no value. There are better games. Let's keep shopping. Tennessee at Carolina. Kyle Allen, I'm a fan. I think he bounces back. They ran into a buzzsaw in San Francisco last week. I like Carolina to win. I'm not getting involved in spreads unless I'm taking an underdog to win the game. So I like Carolina there to win and get it done. Kyle Allen bounces back with a big game. I don't love Tennessee's team. Their offense is challenged on the road against a good Carolina team that's well coached. I don't see it. But again, it's all fixed. So if you do feel frisky, give it a shot. I wouldn't take Tennessee. I like Carolina to win. Minnesota at Kansas City. I think everyone's going to be on Minnesota. I think KC comes to play. They did against Green Bay. I'll take KC with the points, buy it up from 5.5 to 7.5. I think Minnesota will win the game, but I do like KC, and I could see an upset. KC played Green Bay very tight. They were frisky there. Mahomes is not going to play today, but still, I like the home team getting 5.5. Buy it up to 7.5 and take the points. You might want to, if you want to do something a little bit wild, take KC in a small parlay with either Denver, Tampa Bay, Detroit, but I like the Chargers. We'll get to the late games, but that's what I like to do is take an early home team underdog and parlay them with a late home team underdog. Next, Jets at Miami. I'm taking Miami to win this game. The Miami Dolphins have a long history of fucking Jet fans over. I'm one of them. I am a recovering Jet fan. I quit in 1992 like cigarettes. I am no longer rooting for the Jets. I can see it objectively. I can see clearly now. The Jets are gone. So we're going to take Miami here to cover and win this game outright. That's your upset special of the day. Chicago at Philly. This looks too easy. Philly had a nice win last week in Buffalo. Chicago, they can't get out of their own way. Everybody's going to be on Philly. I like Philly to win, but I'm telling you, when it looks too easy, typically it is. Don't be surprised if Chicago wins this game outright. No one's going to bet them. They look like shit, and that's what the gambling, that's what the bookies want. They want the gamblers to sit there and say, oh, how could Philly lose? Like the same thing last week with Buffalo was home for Philly. How could Buffalo lose? Philly looked like shit. They went in and they beat Buffalo. Don't be surprised if Philly has a hangover. Chicago's defense steps up, makes life hell for Wentz, and the next thing you know, Chicago wins this game. I like Chicago to cover. It makes no sense. I'm not saying that they're a good team. They're a shit team. They look like shit. Their coach should be fired. He's a moron. He thinks he's too cute for his own good. He thinks he's an offensive genius, handing the ball off to Cordero Patterson on a 4th and 1 at the beginning of the year. Fucking idiot. Can't use his weapons properly, doesn't use Montgomery correctly, and I don't think that Trubisky is all that we thought he was. I think the league has caught up to him, et cetera, et cetera. Having said that, I see Chicago covering. Buy it up to the 7. Take the under. Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. I like Indy. I love Frank Reich. I loved him as a Buffalo Bills fan, as a backup quarterback. He engineered the 2 greatest comebacks in college and NFL history. For those of you who don't know that, he was the quarterback at Maryland in college, engineered the greatest comeback in college football history, and then in the NFL, engineered the greatest comeback in professional football history for the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs over the Houston Oilers in 1993. Not many people know that, but now all 7 of my fucking subscribers know it. That's why you got to get on this channel. The gambling god will give you nuggets all the time. In this game, I like Indy to win. I like the over. Pittsburgh and Indy, I think they'll go up and down the field. I like Indy. There's something wrong with this line. It looks a little too tight. Still, I'm going to take them. I can't bet on Pittsburgh with this kid Rudolph in there. I think Rudolph is only good for Santa. Ho, ho, ho. Let's take the Colts. Detroit at Oakland, the 4 o'clock games. I love the over in this game. If you're going to bet, if you like over-unders, I can't see how the score here doesn't go over. I can't see how these two teams don't put up 50, 60 points. If they don't, it's fixed. I like Detroit to win this game outright. That's my pick on that one. The Lions to cover, win, and the over. Tampa at Seattle, another one. I like the over. Almost every game Tampa Bay has been in this year with Bruce Arians has gone over. I see it going over. Seattle's defense is leaky. They are not the same. The Legion of Boom has been dismantled. They are good. They're better at home. I like Tampa to cover and possibly to win this game. I don't see a lot of value in taking Seattle. I can see Tampa winning this game, and I definitely like the over. Cleveland at Denver. This is a trap. They want you to take Cleveland. Cleveland has done nothing, in my opinion, to inspire anyone to put any money on them whatsoever. Even though Denver may not have their quarterback with Flacco, he wasn't lighting it up anyway. I like Denver to cover, buy it up to 6, take them to win on a small amount. I have no confidence in Cleveland going in there. Denver's defense, there's nothing wrong with it. They're going to get after Mayfield. He's a little midget, and he throws a lot of interceptions. Obviously, I don't know. Something's wrong here. They're begging you to take Cleveland. Take the Broncos. This is the next one I like the best. Green Bay at the Chargers. They want you to take Green Bay. I'm taking the Chargers. I love the 4. Buy it to 6. I'm taking them to win. I like the under here. These are 2 good defenses. I think people will see the 2 teams and think, oh, it's going to go over. I like the under. Very good defenses going head-to-head. Chargers and the under to win the game. LA Chargers. Let's go, Superchargers. Phillip Rivers, you got to feed those 9 children. New England at Baltimore. Can't bet against the Patriots. You get great value here. They're minus 160. I can't in good conscience ever bet against the Patriots. They're undefeated. They're clearly the best team in football and have been for the past 2 decades. I'm waiting for that to end. But in any event, we're gonna go with the Patriots to win that game. So those are your picks for Week 9. November 3, 2019. Gambling God signing off. The game starting in about 20 minutes. 20 minuto, as we say in the islands. Your Gambling God signing off. Good luck today to everybody. We'll get back to you later for the 7 o'clock NBA and NHL games. There are some good games on the schedule. We'll be back to you later. Good luck today.